Well, hello there. My name is HW, and thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. Please, my friends, like and subscribe if you get anything out of these videos. They really help the algorithm. Okay, today we're talking about, muddy pickups, muddiness in your pickups, muddiness in your sound. Now, my friends, what you just heard there was me playing on this Greco kind of 335 with these, I don't know, there's some sort of Greco pickups. When I bought this thing, I was told they were really desirable PAFs. They're definitely darker voiced than some of my other guitars, like, say, my Trini Lopez, for example. All right, so there you can hear the Trini and those sort of late 60s patent sticker pickups in that case, and some T-tops in some of my other guitars. Those are going to be a little brighter, and they're not going to run into as much muddiness as this. And just to reference that tone again. Now, in isolation, just on single notes, that might be fine. And there's many times when the neck of this thing just sounds glorious. It's big and it's fat. Now, one of the things I like about this bridge is when I come down here, and let me bump up to low and 5 so we get all the gain we can. On the bridge, it just is total rock, you know? It's thick, it's big, it's thicker than the Trini. You know, those late 60s PAFs, well, they're not PAFs, they're late 60s T-tops or patent sticker or patent number pickups. They're gonna run into, what you're gonna run into is a brighter kind of PAF. They really got rid of some of the thickness as they moved out of 59. What does that mean for us today? It means that a lot of times our PAFs, if they're advertised as being low wind, are going to be a little on the brighter side. You get something like a Lambertone's Crema, you're not going to run into this as much. But when we run into mud in our pickups, especially on like a semi-hollow or a Les Paul and on the neck, the problem is too much bass. And that is really the point of the video today. Too much bass. What we need to do is alleviate some of that bass load from the front of our amplifier, or in this case, kind of a gained up profile. Now, you might be noticing, HW, this doesn't sound overly muddy to me. Well, this is the most muddy guitar I have on the neck, because honestly, I'm a person of very exacting tastes. If a guitar doesn't, to me, do enough on the neck and the bridge together, I often get rid of it. And I have a lot of nice guitars that kind of set a standard for the set here in the collection. I don't have any more cheap guitars. I apologize. I know I sound like a complete, whatever for saying that, but all my Gibson stuff is a little on the brighter side of the Gibson scale. But a lot of times when you're dealing with entry-level stuff or even mid-level stuff, a lot of neck pickups are overly dark. Burst buckers are just come on. There's no Les Pauls that sound like that in the heyday years in the 50s and 60s. So the real thing to know here is that amplifier manufacturers, guys like Dave Friedman, guys like Jim Marshall, the Mesa designers and stuff, they're all going to understand this one thing. You have to dump bass before gain stages. And that's a lot like what the definition control does. So if you're dealing with a muddy, neck or something, you can raise the definition, and you're actually taking away the amount of bass going into a gain stage. But what I want to talk about here is it's a little difficult to modify a profile. Maybe I switch down here and I love the sound of the guitar. And then I switch up here. And maybe I want that to be a little brighter, a little more airy, just a little less thick. When it's very clean, the thickness is good. But when it gets too gainy, what we're getting is too much bass. For instance, I love this guitar, and I've used it in other videos, just 1 or 2 videos ago. I used it with the twin reverb, and it sounded glorious. I thought it was one of the best warm neck pickups sounds I've ever gotten. But as soon as I put gain on this guitar, I immediately get this congestion and stuff that sets in. So what I've done here, check this out. One solution may be, what if you put an EQ on your board or on your stage or on your remote, and you allow that to act as, here's my D-mud effect. So that way when I flip up to my neck pickup on a dirty profile, I can just put on this EQ, and here's what this EQ is doing. For us, this EQ, we're dumping 4 decibels of 80 hertz. Get rid of it. You don't want that. Trust me. That's bad news. That's bad news for any guitar sound, really. We don't want it, but we've got a little too much of it. 160 even. Look how aggressively I'm dumping that. 4 decibels, 4 decibels. Now over here, 1 decibel, I'm taking out some of the fullness at 320, and then my low mids, I'm taking out just a little bit. Why? I don't need thickness, guys. I got thickness to spare. I can cut it and I'm still gonna be warm. But what we really want out of a neck pickup are the warm high-end ideas, the warm high-end tones, the warm essence of a neck, picking up the strings in this middle area of their vibration rather than the end of the area and near all this steely metal stuff that gives it that bridge sound. Looking back at the EQ, high mids, I'm not doing anything. I'm actually bumping up a little bit of treble and just a touch more air. You can dial in, a touch more presence, and you can dial in air to taste. Now, before I put on this EQ, it sounds like this. Thick, big. Oh, that is a good sound. That's some tone, baby. Uncle Willie, that's some tone. That is some tone. Hello. So I'm going to turn that on now, and I just want to get a little more clarity. Now listen. That is still necky and warm and thick and fat, but it's really going to help thin that out a little bit in the mix. We still got a lot of fullness on that thing. Still got a lot of fullness. Woo, that's some tone. I don't know, guys, that is just, to me, that is going to work so much better. You take it off and it's fun by itself. But you put that on and you still get all that warmth, but you just get more clarity. Can you feel it? Can you feel the tone? Can you feel it? I don't know, guys. It's just, that is, to me, that's how you fix a muddy pickup. You just got to get rid of some of the bass. And I think one of the things is, without changing your entire guitar setup and in changing all out these pickups, because here's the thing, this is my muddiest guitar, and this is a guitar I planned on selling, and I think I even told you in a video I was going to sell, and it's magically made its way back in where I go, oh, this guitar can hold its own against my vintage 335s, which, gosh, that sounds silly, but this is just a Japanese Greco. I mean, it was under $2,000 when I got it. I think I got it for $1,600. It's not the lightest instrument in the world, but these pickups just sound really good. They're darker, but I'll tell you, when I go really clean and I clean this thing up, I really enjoy the sound of this, and they give me a sort of fullness. Look, here's Loman 2, and I don't really need to thin this out at all. It's just that when you get all that extra bass going into a gain stage, that's where you run into trouble. Here's Loman B2. I think that's really, that was a real eye-opener for me when I realized how to fix a Les Paul. And it also made me realize what I need to look for in a two-humbucker instrument. And that was, I wanted a brighter neck. I have a buddy online named Tanner Yates, and he's at Yeatsy Guitar. And it's a YouTube channel, you should check it out. But Tanner pointed out that he's got an old SG and as soon as I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, I wish I had one of those, because now I want to replicate that guitar. He has an old 63 single pickup SG, and before he got it, someone put a T-top in the neck. And I looked at that guitar and thought, that's a beautiful pairing, because that P90 is not going to be too harsh in the bridge, but it's going to be bright enough, and it's going to be grunty and wonderful. And then you can pair that with a brighter Gibson. That pickup that he had was from a 72, because it was a what they call a logo top. And a logo top is in 72, when the 1 year when Gibson stamped the name Gibson into the pickup up here. This is a little history lesson for you. And those logo tops are T-tops, but they're often called logo tops because they're the only year that they put Gibson on the pickup. And they did that only in 72. Someone's going to put in the comments, I have a model from 73, and they did that. Shut up. They did it from 72. Maybe you have something where a pot dates to 73. I don't know what it is, but that's when they did it, 72. They did it across the line. Everything from SG Deluxes to SG Juniors to 137s to 335s, 330 whatevers. They did it across the whole line. And, I find them very cool. I want to get one because I think they are really good. But all that to say, a brighter T-top in the bridge here is really a certain sound, and you almost never run into muddiness. But when you go for a PAF style, kind of fatter, hotter, you're not going to find it as much on a Lawler low wind, but on a Lawler regular wind, you might start running into some muddiness. And it's not the fault of the guitar. It's just understanding that when you're clean, all that fullness that you enjoy, when you're there, and then you go to all that gain, that was a bright one. Now I'm going to go to a non-bright one. It's great by itself, but when you want a little more just cut through, it's that bass that makes you cloudy and a little murky. And that's when keeping on the bridge, on the neck pickup, but just revoicing that pickup, because I'm adding my EQ in front of my amp, my gain stage, I get rid of some of that bass, and it just gives it a wonderful... I would even say it's a little more silky and smooth. I think we've really actually improved the tone here in a way that just rolling off some of that highs has allowed the silky smoothness to come out. Come on, man! That's like a fine chocolate. HW, chocolatier by night. Guitar YouTube guy by day. Well, like I said, I've been HW. Thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. That is how you get rid of muddiness. Like and subscribe if you get anything out of these videos. And don't forget, it's a crazy HW's crazy sale is ending very soon. You better get on that. I've been HW. Thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. HW.